Why is there an echo? Let's see.
You hear the echo?
Now it's good.
Oh, there we go.
Now it's good. Corey's not up yet, guys. Hang in there. I wasn't in an auxiliary. Now talk.
Corey Clark is talking.
Oh, look at us rolling. Look at us rolling.
Smooth machine.
It's a machine we got going.
It was not an auxiliary, guys. But it's in auxiliary now. We're good.
It's supposed to be an auxiliary or not an auxiliary?
It's got to be an auxiliary. It's confusing that way, by the way.
It's 3 minutes of chaos.
Well, that is the one thing. The reason this one's tougher is we have to switch cameras, switch the boards, switch all of the beds, and the StreamYard when a live show just finished.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it tough. The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV, and away we go. We should be all right now. That is Ira. That's Corey. I'm Jeff. And yay, sausage.
You're also just not used to having Corey in studio. That's kind of throwing you off, too, probably.
It changes every week.
Yeah,
changes
every
dynamic.
Week. Yeah,
changes. That's the way it works. It's all right.
Big news from Register Sausage this week.
Oh,
guys.
here we go. Let's hear it.
Big news. I think Tom will help us out and maybe throw up the graphic. Yeah, there you go. The Register is hosting a summer sausage party. A summer sausage, actually the summer sausage party.
Okay, great.
This Thursday, May 30th. It's going to be the Thursday before.
Not this Thursday.
Not this Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, May 30th.
Okay.
Before the NCAA regional start. So hopefully Florida State baseball is hosting a regional, and it'll be the Thursday before that out at the Hub, which is where Corey and Stephanie got married.
That's true. Yep.
And it's going to be free sausage. I don't know how much free sausage. It doesn't give the details. There is going to be some amount of free sausage. Somebody's going to be giving out free sausage at this party, registers, and also merchandise and fun for the whole sausage fam. Corey and I are going to be there. Jeff has an obligation. He's going to be actually on an airplane. So I will be on
an airplane. I will have already left at that time, which is unfortunate because when I saw the date, when you texted me, I was pissed because I'd like to be at this. First of all, the Hub's awesome. I love you guys. Like to see everybody and eat free sausage.
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
But alas.
And get some merch. But Corey and I will be there, and we'll have some other guests as well, and it should be a good time. We'll have more details as the date approaches. But, yeah, man, it's just another cool thing. Registers reaching out to the Warchant family, to the Seminole Headlines family, and just doing good things. And I think, again, between now and then, though, if you need your sausage fix, go to registermeats.com. That's the website. You can order it, have it delivered to your house fresh and delicious, or go to any of your grocery stores in this part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in this part of the country, say you're on the outskirts, say if you're in Tennessee or Mississippi, I don't know if they have registers there yet. Just talk to your meat manager.
They ought to. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
I figured those counted for being in this part of the country, those southern states. You mean like southern or just bordering
What
Florida?
if you're in Maine? Can you get registered sausage in Maine?
We're kind of what we've done so far. No, not Maine yet. What we've done so far is it's kind of like over into Alabama, Panhandle, Florida,
down over the south
down to
first.
Tampa, over to Jacksonville, up into South Carolina, Georgia and South Carolina.
You can't
You can
order
get
it
it in some
Maine?
places in Atlanta. You can order it wherever you want to order.
Okay, I was
I'm saying
confused
this
there.
is
Okay.
where local stores are, whether it's your Publix,
They'll deliver to Maine.
Costco's. Oh, they're delivered to Maine, just not Alaska.
Somebody in the chat here, Wicked High, just told us that they do not have it. That's the person's name.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Wicked High.
Tennessee does not.
Tennessee does not have
Well,
it.
they need to get going.
Especially for the people that are Wicked High. You need sausage.
That's
Enjoy the evening.
especially for
It's
those people.
especially true. Yeah, absolutely. That's a toughie. All right, boys, how we doing? Good. Next week, you're going to Amelia Island. Corey and I were talking about it before you walked in the room. We had to get into hushed tones when we saw that you entered because of some of the things we were saying.
Yeah. When are you going, by the way?
It's Monday. Well, it starts Sunday, but usually I go Monday through Wednesday.
So for the people that don't remember,
Tough assignment for Ira to go over to Amelia
Are you
Island.
staying at the Ritz?
No,
I
did look.
We're doing well. You need a one-time stay at the Ritz.
So the regular rate at the Ritz right now is $9.80 a night.
Okay, you're right. Good call. Don't do that.
But I think they do have an ACC meeting rate. But I'm
Florida
not doing
State
that
media
either.
not get a part of
staying
that.
at a local establishment down the street. I looked at the Airbnbs just to kind of see what options are available.
Like right on the water there, of course.
For like $90 a night, I can get an RV.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
Does it drive? Can you take it somewhere?
I don't think so.
Can you ride around in the RV and then just park
awesome.
it back?
Can I
an
valet?
RV in Amelia Island?
Can you valet an RV at the Ritz? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So
the ACC meetings are next week. That's not the ones that are in
Not the
July,
good
not the
ones.
football one, but it's where all the sports are covered and all the coaches come out.
It's more
for every-
administrative. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mostly just that it's the ADs, the academic representatives, faculty representatives for the schools, and then
But
head
the coaches
coaches,
will show up, right?
for three sports: football, men's basketball, and
okay.
women's basketball. And they'll talk about anything from rules changes to schedules to
teams
big
leaving,
picture, to
teams
lawsuits.
Lawsuits.
We were talking about it yesterday on the wildly popular Jeff Cameron show. Corey, you missed the segment. It was meaty yesterday. I think Ira would agree with you. We did a whole betting segment, on horse racing, and how you handicap horse racing. I love to gamble, and I've never won a horse race in my life, so I wanted tips because Ira, I know, knows how.
Corey loves it.
And Corey just bet randomly and won the first time ever.
An exacta.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's amazing.
I put in the ticket. I'm like, wait, I just won $625. What?
Yeah, crazy. I've never won a horse race ever, and I love to gamble, and I like to think that I take the time to figure things out. I can't win a horse race.
We should make it. We should all do a trip. We should make a trip. We should go to a track. And
well, since we're going to be out of the ACC soon, we should all at some point go to Louisville together and then make it a point. Let's go.
I've been there multiple times.
Yeah, let's
money there.
Let's make it happen. That said, what we were talking about in addition was his trip coming over to, and it is going to be fascinating. It's worth talking about to think about how odd this will be at Amelia Island when the two biggest entities in the league are suing the league and the league is suing them. And then the third and probably the crown jewel in their eyes certainly is North Carolina, and they've had highfalutin officials say they agree with Clemson and Florida State. This is not going to be a kumbaya. And then imagine you're Cal or Stanford or SMU. You're like, we're so excited to be here. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, you don't belong. What are you doing here?
We don't even care about you. Shut up and stand over there while we argue this out. Man,
it's got to be like no other conference meetings has ever been. I don't even know.
Will they even offered be in a room with other ADs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, that's been up for discussion though. The ACC has tried to say that FSU and Clemson shouldn't be in these meetings.
Right.
But Florida State, I think, has every intention of being in the meetings. Yeah. So
when he votes or has something to say about some topic, they're going to be like, we're not, what do we care what you think, traitor?
We'll see.
They're going to say to him, right?
We'll see.
That's what a weird, what a bizarre.
The oddity is they'd be right to say it.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, we've all announced where we stand on the issues here, man. We don't want to be here. Right. You don't want us here because we don't want to be here. And so, yeah, I mean.
But FSU's point would be, hey, we're still in the conference.
Yeah.
We haven't left yet, so we still get the vote.
But we're suing you for the right
to get out of this conference. But in the meantime, we will vote. But that's
how many days is it? It's 3 days?
It starts Sunday. It ends Wednesday around noon with our sit down with Commissioner Phillips. We'll have a sit down to recap the festivities of the last few days.
So he does do that with the media. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and it's just but it's a little bit kind of informal, and it's
this one's going to be intriguing because all the media are going to ask the only questions that matter, which are what's happening with Florida State, Clemson, the lawsuits, and what do you do from here? How quickly will it be resolved? Everybody just wants to know that. We don't care how well lacrosse or soccer or anybody else did. Nobody's going to care. I mean, nobody even cares about the additions. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. Most of the people in the South don't care about SMU and Cal and Stanford joining the conference. And so,
yeah. And some of the meetings that happen behind closed, again, this is such a weird thing to cover it because the media, we all just sit in the hallway in the lobby.
Yeah.
And we wait for the people to come out of the meetings. We don't get to sit in on the meetings. We don't get to watch the meetings. So we have to talk to people when they leave and find out what was discussed, what was decided. But some of the things they do in there is highly important information in terms of television contracts, revenue distributions, things that, it's not public record necessarily at the time. And so, FSU has to be in there because they're part of the conference, but they're going to be making decisions about the long-term future of the conference when everybody knows that Florida State and Clemson are not going to be in the conference. So it's just a weird situation.
I look forward to it. Are you going to have a chance to join us on Seminole Headlines?
Probably not, huh?
Yeah,
Tuesday?
Nah.
Maybe
I could call in possibly.
I think we could do an abbreviated Thursday one or something. Because
we do want to know what happened.
We want to talk about what happens in Amelia Island.
Yeah, we'll probably change the schedule next week, guys. There will be a Seminole Headlines, but it will not be at its normally scheduled time because Ira's getting the straight dope from the meetings in Amelia.
It's crazy they won't have a single championship in this conference ever in the state of Florida. But they'll do this every year at Amelia Island. I feel like, you know what? You should throw us a bone. Have the ACC baseball championship at Hauser.
At the time, we couldn't have known it, but how blessed were we all to be down there in Tampa for the ACC basketball tournament that one year.
Now, also, the Jacksonville baseball tournaments were cool. I thought they didn't do great numbers, but
we won it when it was in St. Pete, right? Didn't we that 1 year?
Al Lang.
Al Lang, yeah. That's where I used to grow up going to Baseball games all the time. Now
Well,
it's
now it's
where the
always
Rowdies play soccer.
But it's always in Durham, the ACC baseball.
Well, they're just
team.
making it convenient for the Northeastern schools.
Right. Yeah, it's good for Boston College and Syracuse.
Hey, boys, I'll bring this to the table. I'm hearing that there's an outside shot, not even that outside of a shot, that we may finally get some news regarding the portal in the next 18 to 36 hours.
Well, look at you breaking
Okay.
news here.
So
right.
I can tell
You're
you.
gonna name names. You're gonna drop some
I
nuggets?
got to be careful with that one, but I will tell you that it would be fairly eye-opening. So there's something on the horizon.
Is it Cam Ward?
May not go. That would be weird.
I mean, can. What's holding?
What a quarterback battle we've got in store for the fall,
1-2
kids.
battle.
No. So there's a name out there that's floating around. I can tell you that, and there's mutual interest, and it could be interesting. But we should know within certainly far into the scale, 48 hours. This week, we'll know this week, either a yay or a nay on this particular name. And if it were to happen, I will just tell you this, that, I'm not telling you that it's like, oh my God, the number one player in whatever position in the country is available to Florida State. I'm just saying it's a name you guys would know, and it's a name that would help this football team. So it'd be interesting to see if it happens. We'll know in the next, like I said, 36 to 48 hours.
Are you going to come on and apologize if it doesn't happen?
Well, I'm not telling you we're getting them. I know it's a contest right now. So but the person I'm talking about is interested, but he's not solely interested in Florida State. So we'll see what happens. It's a contest.
I do on that topic though. I do think, we've kind of gone on waves with this portal process. Like early on before the portal window closed, we thought maybe a bunch of guys would enter and Florida State would be not a big shopper, but maybe go get 3 or 4 guys out of the portal. And then when nobody left, it feels like, or only one guy left, it felt like, okay, maybe they're not going to do much of anything. I do get the sense they're going to pick up a few guys in the portal. I still think it's going to be probably a few, but not a lot, but it's not going to be totally nothing.
Yeah, I get that sense as well. And
nobody can leave, right?
I don't think at this
Technically,
point,
theoretically, nobody can leave,
all
right?
shut down. So yeah, they're going to be massaging the numbers over there, but I still think they're going to be able to get.
They got to find a way. There's a couple things they could do. It's not fun to talk about publicly. It's not even fair. So we'll see what they do.
I wrote about it though. I was stunned that only one person left after the spring game. I thought it would be 6 or 7. And as I wrote, I think some of it has to do with the Amarian Coopers of the world and the Tafasis of the world and the who else is left and been
Bishop Thomas and
guys like that, man. They just go. They think the grass is greener somewhere else, and it
Malik
isn't.
McLean.
Malik McLean's already back in the portal after a year. Like they see all these former teammates that left for what they hoped was a better opportunity, and then I bet 80% of them would love to come back if Florida State would take them. Like, and so these guys that are on the fence, like, man, I could leave Florida State. And I'm talking about like backup receivers, backup O-linemen,
Rodney Hill.
Yeah, people like Rodney Hill's a very good example. It's like, man, you could have stayed here and developed into something. Now you're searching for a home and nothing's going to feel like a home. And I think these guys have seen that actually play out in real life examples, not just Norvell saying you might regret this, man. I don't know if you really want to do this. Former teammates are telling them, or they've just seen from former teammates, yeah, that wasn't a good move.
I also think I think it is specific to Florida State, but I also think it's nationally. I mean, like there are far more cautionary tales than there are stories of guys who've gone from being middling on a depth chart to transferring to another big school and being a star.
Huge success.
It wasn't the coach's fault at the other school. A lot of times you are what you are.
Yeah, I do think too that it's a testament to how much better this roster is, that they're not going to have to do this every time. Now it's twofold. They're better. The floor of talent's better. They think they can develop the guys they have on the roster already into this offseason, right? We know you can get bigger and stronger over the next 3 months. And then they probably have faith, certainly, that they'll be developed. Certain guys that are on the roster, for example, certain receivers that they're trusting will take another step forward. That's a good sign. That's a good sign that you're not so desperate that you have to constantly go out and get every decent player at each segment group that's available. But I also just think it was pretty sparse. This particular cycle of players that were in the portal.
No, I'm saying.
No, but he's saying it's a good sign that a bunch of guys didn't leave. I
know. I'm talking about in totality what we're talking about with what's happening with the program, what's happening with the kids, their understanding of it, what was available, all of it.
Yeah, and I think the two are related.
Yeah,
if there was better prospects out there, then maybe they start leaning on some kids.
If there was a Keon out there, then maybe one of the receivers entered.
That's kind of what I was inferring. Yes, it was like there's a lot of factors that play into it. I just know this, that I think we all would feel a little bit more comfortable if they could find some depth at certain positions, whether that's wide receiver, whether that's tight end, whether that's linebacker or defensive tackle. I think those are the specific ones, maybe even offensive lineman. But if they don't, they don't. We know they're a good team. That became the bigger discussion was, let's say they stand pat and they don't bring in anybody else and nobody leaves. What are they? That's what the fan base wanted to know. Like, okay, I guess we're not bringing anybody in. And what does that mean?
I think they have a chance to still be a really, really good football team, but there's less margin for error. You know, if you have an injury or two at a couple positions, you could be in real trouble.
Corey, you agree?
I do, but I think the ceiling probably isn't as, I don't think probably it's not as high as it was last year, but that's okay. Like you're not going back to 5-7, but you're not going to go 13-0 most likely. I don't think this roster is a 13-0 roster. I think this roster is a ACC championship contender. And if you're contending for a championship,
then you go to the playoff.
If you can, essentially, even if you're 9-3 and you make the ACC championship game, well, if you win that, you're in the playoff. So you are contending for a playoff. I think that's where this program is this year, is they are a playoff contender. And maybe you get hot in the postseason. You know, I don't know if that really happens in football. I guess it does. But just I think the floor to me, the floor is playoff contender, which think about where the floor was so many 3 or 4 years ago. That's a really good sign that even though I think they're going to take a step back, because they lost some really good guys, man. Especially on offense. They lost, defense too. Verse and Fisk were pretty good. So I just think that raising the floor so much that even if you have a down year, quote unquote, you're still contending for a playoff spot. That's a good sign, right?
Yeah,
you can't go 13-0 every year, and every team is going to have holes.
But to me, it's just a totally different outlook. Like to me, I don't know that you can compare it in terms of like, is their ceiling as high? Because I just think there's too many questions. Like there's
unknowns, like unknown
variables. The ceiling could be as high.
Maybe
the ceiling, if all of those guys pan out.
What if Marvin is a first round
pick? That's what I'm saying.
Pick?
If those guys all pan out, man, then the ceiling could
then
be.
You're loaded.
Yeah.
If they all pan out.
But last year there was a lot of sure things. And even with that, I think most of us went into the year thinking, 11-1 would be a great season. Maybe they could go 12-0. Maybe they're 10-2, but somewhere in that ballpark. This year, I think the variance could be wider, but I don't know that the ceiling is definitely lower. Like they could hit, man. DJ, I love Jordan Travis. I love Jordan Travis's story. He was a fantastic college football player. He averaged like 260 yards passing last year, and he didn't run. So it's not like DJ has to hit some incredible mark to match what Jordan Travis did a year ago. And he might have a better offensive line. He's been in college football for 5 years. He'll have another few months in the system from when we last saw him. I'm not closing the door on the fact that DJ could have a really, really good season at quarterback. And if he does, with what you have talent-wise, they could be right back where they were. I wouldn't predict 13-0, but I didn't predict 13-0 last year either.
Let's get to the important stuff from Dave in Bardstown, who writes, Ira, you get Jim Phillips to release us from the grant of rights for free or unlimited use of the hand soap at Ritz-Carlton, your choice. What are you doing, Ira?
Corey could talk about the soap.
It's incredible.
Himalayan sea salt.
It's an easy answer, but it's a Himalayan sea salt. That's what it is. You guys, go get yourself some. I don't know where they sell it. Maybe you might have to go to the Himalayas.
You can go steal it at the Ritz.
You could go to the Ritz and just steal it. Say you're meeting someone, they're all in the bathrooms in the lobby, and your hands feel like just the smoothest thing you've ever felt in your life.
You're gonna make
Jeff
me look
Cameron.
this up. I'm gonna end up.
It's
doing
unbelievable. It's like little rock. It feels like rock salt.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, your hands just feel like a baby's bottom, like an infant, like a newborn's bottom. It is the smoothest thing you've ever felt.
The three of us.
I wonder if it works on your face. It must.
Maybe I'll try that out.
Do it. Put it all over your body.
It's exfoliating, buddy. It's exfoliating.
It's got to exfoliate
then you put the
your
cream
body
on afterwards and all that. Yeah. Forget about it.
That.
The three of us, Ira and I being the older of the group.
Slightly.
Ira's the oldest, by the way.
Right.
Point that out.
We all know that.
We should point that out. But that said, we're all up there.
Right.
We're all certainly middle age.
Yes. Well, I don't think I'm living to 100.
So there you go. Okay, so we have that. Why do I bring that up? I want to see if the three of us, fairly pretty aware guys, remember when the hell did the sea salt and the Himalayan salt thing become a big deal? It's in everything now. You can get that at your Costco for all your seasoning. It's everywhere.
Oh, you use it as seasoning?
Oh, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, the Himalayan
multi-purpose.
sea salt, rock salt.
You bathe with it and use it as seasoning.
Yeah, you put it on your chicken. You do it all.
It'd be great if Dabo walks in the restroom at the Ritz and I'm in there like putting it behind my neck.
I know. Yeah. Hey, can you get some of this on my back?
If you had
put some of this on my
I'm
back.
missing a spot here, Dabo.
If you had tinfoil and you were slathering it on some pieces of pork.
Yeah.
It's great. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Hey, headliners. Last year, we wanted to launch our official merch store. And after looking at countless vendor options, I chose to work with Shopify, and I'm so glad we did. Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're a startup using your man cave or you're IPO ready, Shopify is the only tool you'll need to grow your business without all the struggle. Shopify puts you in control of every sales channel. You could be selling satin sheets from Shopify's in-person point-of-sale system or offering Yay Sausage t-shirts from Shopify's all-in-one e-commerce platform. And once you've reached your audience, Shopify has the internet's best converting checkout to help you turn them from browsers into buyers. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant in lowercase now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/warchant.
Martini Fridays, plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Tallahassee is full of rich history and traditions. When you think of things that jump out in the minds of longtime residents, the state capitol, McClay Gardens, the Springtime Tallahassee Parade, FSU and FAMU Sports, the St. Mark's Lighthouse, St. George Island, and Paul's Termite and Pest Control. Paul's has been protecting thousands of people, their pets, their homes, and their lawns in the capital region for over 50 years. Locally founded and still locally owned and operated. There aren't many businesses in our industry that keep it together that long. Paul's Pest Control has many customers we've been honored to serve for over the last 50 years. We've experienced tremendous changes in how we treat homes and protect the people that live there. We've moved from liquid termite treatments that require drilling into the home's foundation to Centricon, a baiting system which works with their natural biology. We've moved from interior service to exterior treatments for general pests. But one thing we're not going to change is our old-fashioned commitment to personal service for each of our customers, the same way we've been doing it for over 50 years.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's.
We'll get them all.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
What's weird to think about is that we were just talking about what their floor is and what we think, this offseason is going to be in terms of chatter about what the squad will be. I don't remember, like last year, we were very, very definitive about how good we thought they were. Like all of us. I mean, nobody predicted. I don't know anybody on staff who predicted us to do any worse than, or Florida State to do any worse than 2 losses.
Right.
I don't even know if, I mean, I did 11-1 and Tom went 12-0. I think you guys predicted 11-1.
I definitely did.
Yeah. So I don't even know that any of us had Florida State losing more than 1 game.
I might have done 10-2. I'm always a little bit of a pessimist.
But I just remember that we were all.
Clemson let me down. I mean, guard Keon. I mean, who else are they going to throw it to?
Those bums.
I mean, good night.
Yeah, I would have nailed my 11-1.
Yeah, that's right.
But here's the thing. We didn't even know Braden Fisk was going to be that.
Yeah.
And we were still saying 11-1, 12-0 type season. So it is curious, though, now that.
There was so many known commodities, though, right? Like Verse came back, Benson, Travis, Johnny. And then all the additions they brought in with Jaheim and Keon and people like that.
But if Ira's right that the offensive line should be better, I mean, we think so.
I'll be shocked if the offensive line.
I will be too. I agree with you there. And then, is it completely unreasonable to think that DJ will have the best year of his career? He better. He's a 5th-year guy with Mike Norvell. He ought to be better than he's been. Yeah. And he's been pretty good. He could be much better. I don't know. I mean, the secondary, I think, has a chance to be as good, if not better. I mean, they're talented and deep. You start thinking about it. I guess you just don't know. Do you have a Jared Verse? But Patrick Payton's going to have a huge year. I suspect, by the way, that Jones isn't going to suck.
Yeah.
I think what the challenge for this team to me is going to be the busted play, like the big play that goes against you. Like the nice thing about that team with Jordan, especially a quarterback, is he didn't turn the ball over. I mean, he had 2 interceptions.
Ever. Yeah.
And he made, even if he wasn't, he only completed 63% of his passes.
Yeah.
He didn't light up the scoreboard, but he didn't make mistakes. And then on defense, you didn't have a lot of busts on defense. You had a lot of veteran guys, good sure tacklers. They communicated well on the back end. You just didn't have receivers running free or running backs breaking loose for 65-yard runs. They made teams earn everything. This team, I think, has a chance to be exceptional in a lot of ways, but I think DJ is probably going to turn the ball over more than Jordan did. And we don't know. I like this secondary, but we can't say that they're going to be as sound in the back 6 or 7 as they were last year, because you had all those older dudes and a lot of guys who had been in the system for several years. Earl Little's new to the system. I think he's going to be a really good player, but he's new to the system. These linebackers are young in the system other than DJ Lundy. The corners are experienced, but you just could see some more busted plays and or hurtful turnovers than you saw last year. And any of those can swing a game.
Yeah, I guess I'm just painting a picture that if they are better on the offensive line, they'll be able to run the ball, which allows you to take advantage of the deep ball, which is something they didn't have a year ago. And you certainly have the quarterback to throw the deep ball, this year. I mean, and you brought in all that speed. It's just going to look different.
Right.
It's just going to look different.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think the defense might be as good, if not better. Like, their defense is going to be good. What if Darrell Jackson decides to live up to his body type and be the number, 1 or 2 tackle in the first round of the draft? Like, there's a real that's not a crazy far-fetched thing. Look at him.
Yeah.
And he had a great spring.
Yeah, and Farmer's good too. I think Peyton and Jones are probably NFL players. I think for sure the Oregon State kid is an NFL player. Yeah. I think the depth on the defensive line and offensive line are better. That's a big thing. I think you can't sit here right now in May and say that a defense without Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Renardo Green and Bethune and Deloach
and Jarian Jones
is good. Yeah, and Akeem Dent. I mean, they lost some veteran good players, is going to be better. But again, it's so much of the unknown. We don't know how they're going to play. Earl Little might be more talented than anybody else they were going to have. We just don't know. And like you said, Darrell Jackson might have a Fiskian type year, maybe.
I think he should. I think he can be better than Fisk. And I love Fisk.
I mean, you're basing it on physical.
Yeah, it's
he has to do it.
And Marvin and Peyton, I think, are probably NFL defensive ends. They might not be first-round pick defensive ends, but so there's a lot to like. It's just, going into last year, there were so many more known commodities. That's why the spring game was the spring itself was kind of boring, because we've seen all this before. Yeah, Jordan Travis, we get it. But this year, that's, not that anybody asked, but that's why I just wanted to see a little more out of the receivers. I want to see a lot more out of the receivers, actually, because that's still my question mark, is how good is that position group? How good is that position group? Because that was one of the strengths of your team last year.
That is an interesting topic because I think people, our conversations before the spring game and then after the spring game were about this receiving core is not what it needed to be. Like, it's not what we hoped it would be.
Yeah, they weren't as productive in the spring as we wanted.
Right.
But not just the spring game. It was
the whole spring.
month.
Yeah.
And so then that turns into, I think, from a listener's perspective or a reader's perspective, is like, oh, we're saying they're terrible.
No,
it's not what we're saying.
No.
They were okay. They're fine. But
they were going against a really good set of corners and a defense who knows what's coming.
But, a year ago, you had pretty special receivers. I mean, you had Keelan Coleman's a special wide receiver. Johnny Wilson's special physically is a wide receiver. And then you had other pieces around them. So this year, you just don't have a whole lot of special. Now, Malik Benson, I think, is going to be a very, very good college football player. But I don't know that you can count on some of those other guys. Ja'Kai Douglas, all he does is make plays, but he's also,
5'9",
5'8". Yeah.
So it's just it's going to have to be a lot from scheme. It's going to have to be a lot from, the running game and establishing that and DJ making good decisions. I think they'll be fine, but you don't have guys who are just going to go win battles. I don't think you don't have many of them at the wide receiver.
I really liked that Portier stayed. I really do. I know nobody in this room is
I like
all
it
fired
more
up
if he
about
catches
him.
45 passes.
Yeah, nobody's fired up about him, but I think he has that potential to be that guy that catches 40 or 45 passes. I really do. And I was afraid that he would bounce and go to Troy or TCU or something.
I thought half that room was going to bounce.
I did too. So
I thought for sure they were going to lose a lot of guys there.
I don't think Portier and Darian Williamson are devoid of talent. It's not like they just can't play. They've never even gotten a chance to because of mostly injury, but all these other reasonings too. Maybe they're above average wide receivers to go along with Malik Benson and Ja'Kai Douglas and Hakeem runs and then makes a run. And then all of a sudden you got 5 or 6 guys you can count on.
I think the key is Hakeem. He's the most physically gifted of the bunch. And if he can live up to that and take the step forward that we thought he was going to take this
By the way, I like that you don't have to say the thing about Vandravius anymore.
Nope.
If he can just put his head on,
don't have to say it. He's gone. He couldn't do it. Couldn't get his head on straight, and he's out of here.
Yeah, he's out.
I was waiting. Never happened. And it's unfortunate because he's talented. On down the road you go. But Hakeem does work hard, does care, is focused, loves to block, does a lot of things well, has to take the next step as a pass catcher. Too many drops this spring, and just not enough explosiveness this spring. And I think there's a lot more in there. I dare say I thought he was slightly hobbled the second half of spring. Not making excuses for him, but you also had a quarterback learning the system. So the inconsistencies on offense against that defense are completely understandable. The defense is always ahead of the offense in spring. That's not shocking. Now you have more guys entering into the fold, trying to learn the system, including your starting quarterback. Maybe he does take a big leap because he's talent. He's an NFL body. He's an NFL talent.
I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to paint the picture. We're in Dublin. It's whatever day that is, August 24th. It's probably 58 and rainy.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. No, it's going to be beautiful.
And Florida State comes out for their first drive, and they're 4 wide. Who are the 4 wide?
Okay, so Benson, obviously Hakeem.
You think? I don't think that's obvious. What do you think?
Ja'Kai Douglas is obvious.
Yeah, he's in a slot. Yep.
Probably Portier.
Look at you shaking your head. Kentron is kind of everybody's going to be living in Tron's world.
How many career catches?
26. He's got 26.
Right, well,
I know. Hey, he's got a couple touchdowns.
I like my projection.
Yeah,
regardless of your affinity for.
I don't think it's obvious, but that would be a very good sign if he is.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
the thing about him as a blocker, you want him out there anyway, no matter what.
I feel like, unfortunately, knock on wood, we see some sort of big leap forward and he's able to get healthy. But I feel like Destin Hill would have been part of that group. And that's another reason we were saddened. We were really saddened at the end of spring because we know he was having a great spring.
If I knew for sure Destin Hill was fully healthy and ready to go, I'd have a whole different vibe on this wide receiver room. For real. What about, so we definitely think, I think Kentron, Malik, and Ja'Kai are 3 obvious ones. Hakeem's probably the 4th. Could be Jaylen Brown if he takes a big run.
Wouldn't it be more to ask of Jaylen Brown to do that than Hakeem?
Right.
I mean, Jaylen Brown is so young in his career, and he's been here for.
But he's somebody we don't really talk about, and didn't make a lot of huge plays in the spring. But he is so smooth and fast that.
I like him as a prospect, but I just think it would be a bigger leap.
I also touched on this in something I wrote a couple weeks ago about the receivers. It may have been last week about the receivers. 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, when he started playing, Norvell started playing running backs at receiver all the time.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't have good receivers.
Yeah.
And I think you might see more of that. Tofili, Jalen Lucas.
Tofili catches
and
the
those
ball
guys.
amazingly well.
You might
Jalen
see
Lucas,
them a
too,
lot.
is a
Yeah.
guy that will be used in the passing game, I think.
He's just going to be fun. I mean, get him the ball any way possible. He's just a obviously fun kid to watch play. And they're going to throw the ball to him out of the backfield. We know that. I wonder what other ways they use him, and how could you? Because he is diminutive, to say the least.
He is, but very, very, very fast. And fun to
Unreal.
watch,
The ball in his hands,
Yeah.
awesome. Him running routes outside.
Well, you don't want to
flares
throw it
and
unless he sprints by a guy. It's a small window.
That's
to
a
throw
very
50-yard.
small way. It's the same complaint you
Yeah,
have
but
with
you
your
can
guy.
run bubbles and things. And
Yeah.
there's things.
Oh, absolutely. You can run bubbles. And
Bubbles out your ass.
That's
just
that
bubble
is
this thing to death. And then you would have Hakeem out there for sure.
Yeah,
'cause he
you got to have him
blocks.
blocking. Yeah, that's going to be their motto. That's going to be on their. It's going to be what they call the offense.
How many catches did Deuce Spann have this year for Florida State? Over, under 12.5.
Under.
Maybe he's the guy, gang.
Corey's
Maybe
just full of hope
I
today.
am
He
full of
loves
hope.
these
Corey's
guys.
full
I
of
love
hope.
that they
May-
stayed. I love that they
7.
stayed. They bet on themselves. They think they're going to produce. They think they're going to contribute. Maybe this is the year all of them take a huge. Maybe all
Over
Here's
12
the
and a
thing.
half.
You know what's funny about Corey is like in certain circumstances, you are so focused on
what can go wrong.
size and strength. No, like size
okay.
and strength sometimes. Like, when you talk about physical abilities.
Mhm.
But then in certain situations, like after the draft, you're like, I love these guys who believed in themselves. Like Jared Verse believed in himself. And
Yeah.
Brady Verse believed they're also great athletes. Like they're not, it wasn't just like a lot of people can believe in yourself, but you also
It's
have
easier to
have,
believe in yourself when you're 6'5",
and so like
260.
you
But
love
he-
that
but,
Kentron and Darion believed on themselves. It's like, okay, man, what were they doing the last 4 years? I mean,
Well, they had good players in front of them and they got hurt. But
Right.
usually people, I think, just from doing this long enough, guys in their positions are like, screw this place. They're not treating me
no, I
fairly.
get you. I understand.
That's what
it.
I mean. They're not treating
Right.
me fairly. I'm going to go somewhere where they appreciate my abilities. I just think it's rare for guys. Deuce Spann, too, is another one that are going in their 4th or 5th year that have never really done anything at this level.
But you're
Stay
rolling,
true.
rolling
But it does
rolling
happen.
with them now.
There is some. There are.
I'll say this about
instances-
Deuce. Like, he could go to a lower level and he would be featured more. But I don't think he feels like he has been put in an unfair situation. I mean, he's got eyes. Some people are fair and honest with themselves.
But
He
most
knows he's
aren't.
not better than the guys that were in front of him.
Most athletes aren't.
I know. I'm just saying.
And I think
credit to him for
Kentron,
that.
But
what I have with Kentron, what I keep coming back to is he was the best receiver they had last spring. He was really good last spring, and then he got hurt, and he didn't play at all in the fall. And then when he did play, it was against Georgia, and he was the best receiver on the team. I'm not saying much,
I don't think it's. I'll go back. I don't think it's accurate. They didn't play it all in the fall.
but he didn't play
Like,
much,
he didn't-
and he was
I think
hurt at the
He
beginning.
wasn't active when he played.
Sure, but he wasn't. He was hurt in the beginning, and then he didn't. Then they didn't run him out there much. I think he has a
This
chance
guy's
to be a
the
nice
voice for Kentron Portier.
Kentron,
right
it's
here.
me and you, dog. I'm at your draft party.
Ride or
I'll tell you
die.
that much. I'm going to be at your draft party.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
After 60 dogs were seized from a Tallahassee pet rescue owner's property last month, more than 30 pigs were also seized from her second property. The dogs were confiscated last month after being found in muddy cages during a welfare check. The news comes after Judy Dubois was arrested last week for animal cruelty charges related to the seized dogs. A judge granted the Tallahassee woman a $5,000 bond Friday in her first court appearance. The judge also ordered that she could not have any animals in her control. The confiscations of animals from Dubois' properties resulted in an influx of more than 100 dogs at the Tallahassee Animal Service Center. The shelter put out an urgent plea asking for foster parents Friday. The animals have not been officially surrendered by Dubois. The courts will decide if those dogs will be returned to their owner, euthanized, or put up for adoption. The biggest priority for TAS is finding a home for the dogs that are being displaced as they make room for more. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 91 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 71 with fog in spots tonight, partly cloudy skies. Mainly sunny skies develop with fog in spots early tomorrow. Highs level off around 90. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 87 degrees.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Hour is flying by, and that's exciting because we got headliner questions next hour, and I suspect there's a lot of good ones.
Okay. Why do you suspect?
I kind of took a sneak peek. Corey.
Okay. All right, good.
It's not a suspicion.
At the Twitter?
It's a fact.
At the Twitter?
I looked at the Twitter. I did not look at Facebook, but I'm going to look at Facebook.
Okay. Well,
I thought I went over the top with Facebook last week, and I could sense his frustration.
Well, you got my email, right?
No.
My notes after the show?
No, I didn't get that one.
by the way, apparently my dad tried to friend one of my friends yesterday on Facebook. So that's always fun.
That was an interesting email to get.
That's always I know she just the friend Anna texted me and was like, "Hey, just so you know, your dad reached out and wanted to be friends on Facebook." I'm like, "Well, it'd be cool if it really was him 13 years after his death. Like, just check it in."
Hey, guys, I'm in Wyoming. Yeah. I faked the whole thing. I hate you guys.
You never saw my body. Yeah. So,
hey, this is a little, I don't know. Maybe it's not the right time. Tomorrow is my dad's birthday.
How old is he?
He'll be 76.
Lucky son of a gun.
Is he coming into town?
He was in town this past week, and we went over to the Florida State NC State game Saturday, tailgated with the animals. And
you got the heads up, right?
I was actually at the game, and I didn't get a heads up.
We were all there having a big time, and then the game got canceled.
Yeah.
You would have seen him.
Glad he's sharing his time with other people.
He's sharing his time with his son.
Well,
and grandchildren.
And other people.
But we did. We went over there. I gave a shout out to Johnny
You got
Mac.
to tailgate and then didn't get to watch the game. It's fine.
They were quite frustrated. I was less frustrated. I've been to a million games, so it didn't really bother me. But for my son and for my nephew and for my dad, a little frustrated, especially since there was no reason to cancel the game. But, hey, it worked out best for Florida State, I think.
Yeah, I think that was – I don't think Link was unhappy that they only played 2.
No, I think it was probably incredibly fortuitous. And I would dare say, judging by NC State's bullpen stats – that they were more than happy to only play one on Sunday. Both sides were like, "Yeah, we're good. One's good." Yeah,
definitely a Link. I'm sure he did not want to play another doubleheader.
Well, he's had to play a million of them. They've been robbed.
It had to start. He said it would have to start at like 10 a.m. because of travel purposes, or 9:30.
But also, listen, Elliott Avent didn't want to either.
There's no point. It worked out. It was a gentleman's sweep. Right. It was a gentleman's split. You know what I mean? They both got one game. They both stayed.
I think they kind of got what they both needed. Yeah. Frankly,
Florida State they should have won that first game. They got
that was
really
a
unlucky.
Weird game with 15 ground ball singles.
They really had
seven.
They literally had 7 infield hits.
Yeah, I know.
And then another.
Every time I looked
double.
up,
and they said Jamie Arnold gives up 9 hits, and like 2 of them were hit hard.
And then the other part is that you have the long delay, and so everybody goes home, and there's like 17 people in the stands. It's just
the long delay.
Sucked.
Point out the long delay with no weather.
I said there was no reason to do it. They had no reason on either of the days.
No
but
weather. Whatever. There's lightning 6 miles away.
We're going to get yelled at for this. I brought this up yesterday, and I get it. And I know as soon as we do it, I'll get an email about somebody who lost their cousin 7 years ago to a lightning strike. We get it serious, and I don't want them to play through light. It's a miracle we're alive. I'll just say that. I never once had a game in any sport I ever played canceled due to lightning. Grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida, the lightning capital of the world, Tampa, St. Pete. That's where it lightnings
No,
the
if it
most.
was light, if you saw the lightning, you got out of the way of it.
Well, yeah,
You
we didn't
dodge
stand there underneath the lightning bolts, but sweet Jesus.
But you know
I'm
what?
not comfortable. I'm abstaining from this entire conversation.
Well, and I'll say this real quick. I had a family friend. I think I've said this before. I really have been impacted by a lightning strike.
Yes, you've told me the story.
My dad's best friend's daughter was 30 years old, got struck by lightning, had to learn how to walk and talk again. And her best friend that was next to her died. It splashed off her and killed her friend instantly.
You're not helping make our point.
No,
Corey.
but they were in a huge field running away from an ultimate frisbee, and this was in 2001. But my point being, what bothered me about Friday night was it was so dangerous, Ira, the atmospheric conditions and the lightning, that for 45 minutes, NC State's team was out on the field playing hacky sack. That's what bothers me. And everybody in the stands was just sitting in their seats. There was no lightning around us. There was no rain. Everybody's
from
just
a
sitting.
liability standpoint, though, the university puts up a sign on the screen and they make an announcement, please find cover because there's lightning in the area.
Right.
And then if you just sit there, that's on you. Like they've done their part.
There's lightning
but
in
if
Lake
they have
City,
a game
get
continuing,
moving.
but if they continue to play a game and something bad happens, now the liability's on them. So I mean, I think that's a factor.
I get it.
You know,
I think it's a bit extreme.
And my point, and the thing about lightning is it doesn't have to be right over you, because the case with Ben Jackson in Thomasville, it was just kind of misting. It wasn't storming. There was not lightning everywhere. They were playing baseball and he got struck by lightning. So it can happen.
It can.
It can.
Yeah. It doesn't do us any good to beat the drum on that. Anyhow.
You know what? We'll do everyone some good. I'm not going to go through the whole story. It's too convoluted. If you've listened to Wake Up Warchant, you know it already. But I just want to give a public service announcement to everyone listening. If you buy a car and don't trade in your old car, you better take that tag from the old car. If you're not going to insure that car.
I think you're in the minority of people that don't know this.
No way, man. No, literally anybody I've talked to about it, and I've told Lord, I've told this story 30 times.
Unique circumstances. Most people trading in a car are about to get another car and need the tag off that car.
But if you sell a car, they'll tell you have to return the tag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on this title.
No, but I guess the point is I had a car. I bought a car from Carvana. They didn't do anything wrong. I put my insurance from the car I was driving from the 2017 car to the 2022 car. But I want to keep my car for Brady. But I'm not driving it. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste 2 years of insurance money when I'm not driving this car at all. I'm not driving it. So obviously I'm in the wrong. When I knew I wasn't going to do that, because my car is still registered, I have to go take my tag in and say, I'm not driving this.
Or keep insuring the car.
But I didn't. Who would do that?
Well,
that would be crazy.
the idea is they won't let you just have a car without insuring it, because then you would just be driving it without insurance.
Right. No, so I get it. So anyway, long story short, or short-ish.
Or longer.
I ended up getting pulled over because my license had been suspended.
This is the more interesting part of the story, and I want people to know this, because it's kind of freaky how far we've come. You got pulled over because of some system in place that alerts cops.
Yeah, the state trooper.
Moving vehicles. Like, he's not looking at your license
He was not
plate.
behind
He's
me.
not behind you.
He was on the side of the road, and I drove right by him.
It just goes, what is it, beep, beep,
I
or
guess
something
it
like
beep
that?
beeps,
Lets you know that somebody's driving on a suspended license?
And he pulled out.
That's crazy.
He pulled out like OJ drove by him. I mean, he pulled out with a quickness. I'm like, oh, man, what? He must have gotten a bad call. Where's he going?
What did I do?
And it was a 2-lane road. He got in the left lane, went around, came up right behind me. And I'm like, oh, man, what in the world? And, he got in so I had been driving without a suspended license because I hadn't even, and I got my car towed, even though the car I was in was insured and it was registered. The other car was not. He didn't know it, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, just pointing out for everyone that doesn't know.
Let's dox him. What's
No,
his badge
I don't want to
number?
do that. I don't want
What's
to
his
do that.
name?
He was nice enough. He didn't have to get me. I mean, Stephanie could have driven the car home, but whatever. Because it became a nightmare after that. But if you're going to keep a car, but you don't want to insure it because your son is 14 and there's no reason to insure it for 2 years, go ahead and turn in that tag. Go ahead and turn in that tag, gang.
That's a fun. Was that a Friday? Was that a Friday?
That was a Thursday evening.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a fun Friday right there, guys.
That was a Thursday evening. Friday is, I had to go get my license. I had to go prove that I should have a license.
The great thing is,
and turned in my tag. I turned in my tag to the DMV.
Corey and I were texting. I didn't know any of this. It had just happened. We were texting about him writing a story. And I was like, I probably don't need that story till the morning. So if you want to do it later, you can. I don't need it right away. Because originally I thought I did. And he's like, okay, good. Because I've had a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then he tells me, I'm like, and you were going to just sit down and write a story?
Yeah. And I went into my house and my AC was broken. So it was 87 degrees in my house.
So you have pissed off somebody in the universe. Somebody is irate. Well, it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, guys. So just
hey,
so
well, tell
you know,
your dad if he's thinking about selling cars or getting a new car to turn in that license plate, gang.
No, he's 76 tomorrow and very excited to see all of us on several road trips this year. And I do know next hour when we get into headliner questions, we're going to have to answer this because somebody asked the road trips that you cannot miss. Now, we're all getting lucky enough to go over to Ireland, but not everybody's going to do that. Do you think, and just as an aside, I'm picking your brain, would you be more excited to go to the Notre Dame game? I understand tradition. The Notre Dame game or the SMU game? That's a legitimate question. I think
I was in Dallas last summer. Yeah,
but if you hadn't been,
yeah, I still think it'd be Chicago / South Bend.
Yeah. You agree? Just because of Notre Dame's tradition? Because that place isn't great.
South Bend?
Yeah.
They used to have the College Football Hall of Fame.
South Bend ain't great, and that stadium ain't great.
When is the game?
November.
Yeah.
And I think SMU's like late September, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little toasty there.
When are we ever going to go to an SMU game? Once the team leaves the conference, we're never going over to SMU. You're like, this is it.
The problem is that stadium seats like 20.
I think they're going to expand this summer is what I read. No, really? From like 26,000 to 38,000.
Yeah, I think it's in the 40s.
I think Chicago's an easier drive than Dallas. I got to figure that out. I haven't looked. I think Chicago's actually an easier drive.
What's the traverse to Ireland? You're actually flying?
I'm flying, yeah.
You're not getting on a big boat? Taking months to get over?
I'm flying. I am taking a boat from England to Dublin after we land in Manchester. But yeah, that's I'm getting in a train from Manchester to.
How much time are you going to spend in England?
Probably 4 or 5 days.
How many drugs are you going to take for the flight across the pond?
Well, I'll definitely be drunk. I think Steffi's got some stuff. I probably don't need to be mixing. I got to figure out which tact I'm going to take.
I don't think you need to be drunk.
I don't do that stuff very often, so I got to figure that out. But I got a bed. It's a wedding gift. We got a bed to fly over there.
You got a bed?
Yeah. We're in the what do you call?
First class?
Yeah, it's not called first class anymore. What's it called? Business class?
Comfort care?
Something like that. But yeah, so we got a bed because it's an overnight flight.
You legitimately got a bed?
Yeah.
This guy.
It's the only way I can fly is to lay down and sleep.
This bourgeois.
But he can't keep insurance on his car.
Unbelievable.
I just wouldn't have thought my license would be suspended. I thought, okay, if I get caught driving this car, I'm in real trouble. But I didn't drive that car. I wouldn't have thought they would have just suspended my license. They had not told me about it.
Well, I'm sure they did tell you about it.
They probably told me.
I think you probably had. How many notices do you think? 3, 4?
I feel like I would have read it.
Do you think there was a notice with big red letters, final notice on the front of that? Please read.
Leon County got something against me. I don't understand.
I'm not going to lie about this in the remaining 40 seconds. I don't look at everything that says, please read. Right. Do you? Yeah. And I don't even look at everything that says final notice. I'm like,
yeah, that's not true.
You can't threaten me with some final notice.
I'm not reading it.
Watch this. Right to the recycle. What do you think of them apples? I'm not doing all this.
What, are you going to take my license away?
Yeah, right. So hour number 2 forthcoming. Headliner questions on the way as well. It's Seminole Headlines 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
If you've been waiting for the perfect time to buy your new house, you'll be waiting forever. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I have been a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I can tell you that there is no such thing as perfect timing. So take the first step towards your new home and let me show you what that really looks like. Chances are very high that you'll be very surprised at what I can help you do. When rates go low, prices go high, and that home that you've been eyeballing could be gone. If you're wondering how the drop in interest rates is going to affect your payment, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all of the options available to get you into your new home. And for every single loan that we close for a fellow Nole, I will personally donate $250 per closing to the Battle's End. Let's do this together and let's keep climbing. Call me today at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. Or you can find me online at loansfornoles.com. That's loansfornoles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Call away. 222-7722. AC and Electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation to 222-7722. Parker Services. Conferences to call away.
Invest in a Peak Performance membership and you'll buy peace of mind in knowing that you're extending the life of your system and probably saving money on your power bill too. The program includes comprehensive tune-ups that keep your system running at its maximum efficiency. And Peak Performance members get many benefits, including priority service. Members jump to the front of the line when their comfort system fails. And a 15% discount on all parts. The Peak Performance membership pays for itself over and over again. Call today and have peace of mind. And Parker's is now offering electrical services too.
Parker Services. Conferences to call away.
Florida license number CMC 050334.
Searching for the best place to spend time outdoors this spring and summer? The Golf Club at Summerbrook has all the amenities you and your family need. Purchase a family pool membership this season and enjoy the most luxurious and relaxing resort-style pool in the entire city. With a 6,000 square foot deck, covered pavilion, and poolside drink and food service, you'll feel like you're on vacation. Reserve your pool membership today. Visit the Golf Club at Summerbrook.com or call 850-894-GOLF. That's 894-GOLF.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now, here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Wells Fargo Championship this week at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. Rory McIlroy, the plus 750 favorite. Top 5 plus 180. Top 10 minus 115. Xander Schauffele 10-1. Top 5 plus 250. Top 10 plus 115. Wyndham Clark 18-1. Top 5 4-1. Top 10 plus 190. Atlanta Braves, another 75 favorite at home with the Boston Red Sox, plus 145, 9 under at Truist Park. Reynaldo Lopez pitching for the Braves, Cutter Crawford on the mound for the Red Sox. Rays, a $2.45 home favorite against the White Sox, plus 200. Free betting splits available at vsin.com/splits. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
Your heating and air conditioning system doesn't check with you before it takes a break. That's why we're always ready to help. Any day, anytime, anywhere. And with our annual service agreement, there are no overtime charges. Ever. At Verno Heating and Air, we will always be there for you.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
License CAC 1816-186.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
What will the Noles do to follow up an unconquered 2023? Warchant.com, the market leader in FSU football and sports coverage, is the place to find out. Join the largest FSU fan community and talk Seminole sports in Warchant's Travel Council and premium recruiting message board forum. Enjoy special access to multimedia elements like Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, and Seminole Headlines, plus exclusive forums with FSU student athletes and a members-only discount to Garnet and Gold. Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source. Head to Warchant.com and sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Hour number 2 as we roll on, and we will do so by first saying thanks to Dr. Birch Orthodontics.
The best in the business. Guys.
When's she going to have a get-together and welcome all the posse out there to
a
show
braces
love?
Party?
Yeah, braces, an orthodontical party.
We should have
free consultation.
How about we have
Maybe
that
not
party
free.
when Clark gets his braces off? Let's have that. It's been a journey.
all come
They've
in
done
there?
a great job. I'm not trying to infer anything here. It's just that, man alive, we've been in some braces now.
I think Dr. Burr, what do you think if she sent an email to all of her clients that through the years, over 20 years of providing great orthodontic work in Tallahassee, and had a reunion?
You saw it,
like
the Civic Center.
I mean, how many people would there be?
Yeah, Civic Center. You couldn't put it in Tully or
everybody be walking around. Let me see your teeth.
It would be the best accumulation of teeth ever in Tallahassee.
Hey, Bob, how are your teeth holding up? Let me see.
Smile.
You've been treating them well? You've been doing the right thing?
And then just go to other towns, surrounding areas, and taunt people that don't have good teeth.
I'll tell you something.
Competitions.
Well, you just go over to Europe.
not
just
great
tour
teeth
all
over
around England. Tough times with the teeth. You can. Dr. Birch could make a fortune if she found a way to do that over there, man.
Expand to Europe.
Yeah, that'd be something. I will tell you that one aspect of Clark being in braces and the extensive work that they had to do, things have changed in that time already. I like that you can have multiple color rubber bands and all that. It's just at the Christmas tree. You can have bright red. You can have red and green. You can have yellow. He's had yellow. He's had red. He's had blue. I think he's now got like some sort of weird silverish color. I mean, outstanding.
Yeah, man. Like when we were kids, nobody wanted to have braces, and if you had braces, it was a problem. It was a bad couple of years.
If you had rubber bands with your braces, you were a freak.
Now, Dr. Birch is making them stylish, and you can check them out at birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com. They have free consultations, do tremendous work. Can't speak highly enough. We've trusted our kids with them, and you could.
What else do you need?
That's all you need to know.
That's true. Carl B. writes, did Destin Hill tear his ACL? I know you can't answer. Jeff kept clamoring that a certain coach, Shannon, should be let go. Does he still think the staff needs changes?
Did you add the Shannon or did he?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I'm reading it as is. I'm reading it as is. I did not go there. Yeah, I'd make a couple changes. That's me.
Okay.
That's a question. I'm answering it. I mean, they're good staff, obviously. Doing a good job. 13-0 last year, but I'd make a couple changes. B-Rad writes, you three are stranded in the forest. Who's building the shelter? Who's doing the hunting? And who's cooking?
Well, I'm not cooking.
Ira, you're a good cook, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're a really good cook, aren't you? Yeah.
I feel like I would hunt. I'd be the hunter. I don't know what I would hunt, though. A squirrel?
Yeah, you're resourceful.
Here's the problem we have. I think both of us would want to hunt.
Yeah.
Because neither of us can build the shelter.
Yeah, you could build a shelter. You could
I
build a
could
shelter.
build a shelter.
You figure it out. You figure out a way. Some. I mean, I'm not saying you're breaking down a tree, but you might be able to. You can pull some.
I'd figure
prongs,
out a way to do
figure
the
it out.
shelter.
Corey can hunt for us.
Yeah, I'll come back with a squirrel and a robin and be like, "Get dinner's up, boys."
What would be your first approach? Like, so you see, you went into the jungle.
Trust me, I would kill any squirrel I see. I would love that.
But are you looking for a rock, a tree limb? Like, what's your going to be your
Would you
weapon?
get a spear?
I'm assuming as Jeff's building us our fort, our palace, he's going to whittle me like a spear out of one of those pieces of wood.
Here you go.
Maybe a blow dart, and I can just.
Well, that'd be fun.
That'd be great.
Well, then we would all want to take turns.
Yeah, then we're all
blow
going to be
darts
hunting.
would be fun. We'd be like, I want to blow the dart.
I just worry about. They're also quick. Squirrels are quick up the tree.
Yeah.
Deer, when they hear anything, they
Also,
freak
you
out.
got to kill 1,000 squirrels for all of us to eat. Don't do
that's
that.
true.
Pick
Deer
a big animal.
or a bear. I guess
you're
I'd go
taking
try to
on a
hunt
bear,
a bear.
are you?
Yeah.
Birds? Can you?
Well, we could eat. We'll eat a lot of birds now.
Yeah.
I'll go get. Well, you want baby birds? You want eggs? I can go into a nest.
A lot of mosquitoes in the forest. Can you handle that?
Oh, I'm fine.
No, buddy.
Got plenty
I
of
don't know about
blood.
all that, buddy. That's what. Screw camping. Brandon writes, any insights into how they plan to get under the scholarship limit now that the portal's closed?
No, but I don't really care, honestly. I mean, this is like one of those things that I've never really been a big fan of talking about scholarship limits, because every team in the history of college football,
I agree with you,
has found a way to get to their number of scholarships.
You know what it's like when I hear people debating amongst NBA circles how teams are going to make certain trades.
Right.
They always do. Like, how are the Lakers going to get under the cap? Well, next thing I know, Anthony Davis is there with LeBron. That's a miracle. How'd they do it? They always find a way.
I think there are options. There are options of, and there's just, as you said earlier, like there could be guys that are on scholarship that we think are on scholarship that are not really on scholarship. There could be guys that get medically disqualified.
That's correct.
Guys, I mean, there's
it's not a fun conversation because you're talking about kids and their future. And, we could go candidate by candidate of what they could do. They can do some things. And I imagine they will if they have to.
What's the slowest animal in a forest? Like, what would we have?
Sloth?
A sloth. But
The
I would
sloth
not.
could eat?
Don't
What
kill a
forest are we in
sloth.
with
Don't kill
sloths?
It could be good eating.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
They look
Oh,
wiry to me.
I'd want to adopt the sloth.
Yeah,
if
we
it's our
can't
pet.
kill a
I'm not
sloth.
killing a sloth.
No, don't do that.
If
They're
we're
very
sitting
friendly.
there, if we're sitting there starving in the jungle,
Well,
and
we'll
you've got
eat
a pet sloth.
Yeah, well, you're right.
If we're starving to death, you got to kill the sloth. But let's not do that. There are so many other animals.
We've
got to
be too resourceful to starve to death in a forest.
Well, we bring him in as a pet, and then if things get tough,
go south.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's like going out west back in the day.
Sometimes you got to eat your family.
You got to eat the horse.
Yeah, you go that way.
I'm starting there. I'm not eating the family right away. We're gonna go ahead and
our wheel came off.
Where it's like sometimes you got to eat your wife.
Becky, I'm sorry. This has been a great run.
Garrett writes, with summer workouts on the horizon, if the Headlines crew was allowed 100 pounds of muscle total to add to the players of their choosing, which players would you choose and how much weight for each? I love this.
100 pounds of muscle?
So we have 100 to divide it how we wish amongst the players and how much for each.
I'd give Landon Thomas maybe about 15.
Yeah, get him up to 265. Let him block a little. Okay, I like it. I hear you. That's 15 of our 100. Are we in unanimous agreement?
I would say, and I might give I'd give Cryer 10 to 12. I think.
like it.
Maybe Nicholson too.
Nicholson.
Oh,
Definitely.
Nicholson's getting 10 right now.
Yeah.
Those three right there.
Okay, so now did you go 10, 10?
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, so
okay, I got 35 pounds are accounted for.
And then,
Jalen Lucas is pretty stout.
I don't want him to be any. I don't want him to lose anything. I like where he's at.
Jalen Brown could use. Probably
Jalen Brown could be 15.
Jalen Brown
15's
needs
a lot.
15's
All
a
right,
lot.
you're right,
So let's do
especially for
10.
him.
Let's
All
do
right,
10.
10.
So 45. We got 55 pounds to work with, guys.
Are there any linemen we're worried about?
Oh, Lucas Simmons up top, another 10 to 15 of muscle, and now he's starting.
But so you think he's going to play?
Well, now I got him starting at left
we're not
tackle.
spending those pounds on the bench warmer.
No, he's going to start, and then I'm going to have my right tackle.
And I think you could put 10 on Peyton and not diminish.
He
what
already
he
gained
is.
15.
I
but
don't think
you
another
could.
10 would diminish who he is. I don't think. Could be wrong. I don't think so. And then 25 on Fitzgerald.
Are we
making Durajaye a tackle? Put a little on him, make him a tackle.
Put another
solve
10.
The tackle
another
issue?
10. Solve the tackle issue.
Is there a receiver we could turn into a tight end? Darian?
Hakeem.
Deuce?
Hakeem, when he got here, was really close to being a tight end. No, Deuce is no.
If we get Deuce up to Deuce and a half, that's his nickname, Deuce and a half. He would be one of the fastest tight ends in the country.
I don't know where else we're at then. Toafili another 10 pounds?
Nah, I think he's
fine. You like him where he is.
Nobody in the secondary, right?
Anybody?
You know what?
at the
There's
second
those young,
safety?
those young DBs.
Yeah, maybe the
like
young
Lester,
DBs.
If you're going to play any of those guys,
Yeah,
they can put
10
on
on Lester right away. Yeah,
Yep,
10
we're
on
at 100.
Lester.
We did it.
We did it. That's pretty good. That's actually a fun exercise. Let's see. Zotter with a Z writes, not a question, but please tell me you saw the Tom Brady roast.
I did not.
The Aaron Hernandez jokes alone were worth it. Thanks for your great work. First of all, it's way too long. It's 3 hours long.
Yeah, I caught the last hour.
They didn't do a good job. They should have edited.
Our guy Segura and Kreischer were on.
I saw a clip of the picture they were making fun of Brady when he's like nude holding the football, and he looked like it was pregnant.
The Aaron Hernandez joke that he's talking about there, they were talking about Gronk's prolific career. He has, to be fair to Gronk, it wasn't very difficult. All he had to do was block, catch, not murder.
Yeah.
So there was that. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Some of the stuff was great. Some of it was just
roasts
are interesting.
I've never been a huge fan of them because there will, for every awesome joke,
there's 10 bad ones.
3 that are horrible, and 1 that is just like, man, that's just flat out
there are
rude and gross.
A bunch of those where you're just like,
that's not even funny.
I guess you walk in this room and everything is fair game.
Yeah,
race, sex, gender, anything you want to say is fair game. It's like
your marriage,
man. I don't know.
Like they got into all that.
But you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
I mean, he agreed to do it, so I feel like they feel like they're supposed to do it because he agreed
to do it because he knew it was good for his brand. Yeah. In the 2024 Headliners Derby, which horse would you bet to scratch before post time? Mystic Jeff, Mystic Ira, or Mystic Corey?
I mean, I would. Hey, by the way, I found out I went and got my shoulder looked at.
Yeah,
arthritis.
So, have you started the process?
But
Can they do anything for it?
No.
Corey
I
Clark.
could get a cortisone shot maybe if it gets bad, but it's just it's arthritis.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to do it.
What are we doing here?
I know.
What are we doing?
So it's at least it's good to know. I thought maybe I'd really damaged it, but it's not. It's just arthritis.
It's just you're soft. I'm old. Buck up and get a shot. Let's go. So who's scratching before post time?
I would
Who's
say
most
Ira.
flipping out?
I would say Ira. Oh, is that what it means? Like you're flipping out?
No, you're scratched. You're not up to snuff.
Usually, yeah, with the horses that sometimes going into the gate,
a little on edge, won't get in the gate,
or they toss their rider. Sometimes they toss their rider.
Oh, okay, nice.
Why do they toss their rider? Why does that mean? Anxious.
Yeah, not thrilled about the whole process. Not feeling it.
You know, you can go on YouTube and watch the Seabiscuit versus Man of War race from 1930, whatever. It's a good movie. It's my favorite horse racing movie, by the way, if anybody was wondering.
The old sports analogy, writes Dan, you wouldn't pay me to watch that team. When each of you draws the short straw for next year's basketball games, do you get free snacks? Yeah, we do. We are fed if we go and cover the game, yes. You want to know if we got free snacks.
When's the last time you went as a media member, Jeff?
Oh, I never do.
You go sit in the club.
I do. I sit up in the club. Last year I was down on the floor. Last year I was down on the floor several times with the pregame hobnobbing, doing the food and shaking hands.
Legitimately, what is this team going to be? What is it going to be?
He did the story.
I know.
Wrote the story.
I read it, and I'm like, but
I want to see these last 4 pieces.
Okay.
I want to see these last 4 pieces.
My
there
goodness.
could be some
Somebody
phenomenal.
coming. Yeah. The number 1 guy in the portal just went from Seton Hall to St. John's, so he's not coming. So
close that door.
Close that door on him. So it's gonna be. It's gonna man.
It is something to behold, and it is frustrating and sad, and it is going to be.
Do you think if COVID hadn't happened and they get to the Final Four in 20, would he have retired then? Do you think? I don't think so. Right?
He might tell you he would have. Like
But
that's the
I
whole
don't
thing
think
with
so.
Coach Bowden. Like Coach Bowden was always going to go out on top, and it's like,
But
then
when's
if
that
you
gonna be?
did that, you wouldn't want to retire.
Yeah, exactly. Because I got Scotty Barnes coming next year. I'm not going to retire with Scotty Barnes.
It's this weird thing about people making $2 million a year or more.
They don't walk away. They don't tend to walk away. It's amazing how that works.
But it's just, that could have been such a great cap, or even the Barnes year, the Sweet 16 year, and now it's going to end.
I will tell you this:
an abject failure.
And the hard part about all this is obviously we all have great respect and admire the character that is Leonard Hamilton. But what a weird set of circumstances to have it end like this. And I don't mean as in we're belaboring the point. I mean as in think of all the things that had to happen for it to end up like this. Like if the NIL doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And COVID doesn't happen. And then all of a sudden okay, you are a Final Four team. Well, now your recruiting goes back up, and the style for which Leonard Hamilton coaches is praised all the more, and parents want to send their kids there, and there is no NIL, and all of a sudden you're stacked again going into the following year, and you've sustained success. You were one of the 2 best programs in the ACC over a 7-year period. So now this just begets more and more success, but all those things did happen. And then not only did that happen, at some point you fast forward and Florida State's suing the conference they're in, and so you're unstable. So now you don't know what conference you're going to be in. The system by which you can recruit players has completely shifted. You never got your Final Four run because of COVID, and we arrive at a place in which nobody knows what the roster is going to look like.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's tough. It's brutal. And there's nothing that the administration right now that I would suggest can do, because who are you going to go get? Who are you going to get right now? You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's how we arrive at
or
this.
even if it was in March, or April, because it's just the situation. You're going to try to hire a coach without knowing what conference you're going to be in.
Right. And you don't know. Yeah.
And what is the NIL situation? There's just a lot of variables. What's the budgeting look like? And Leonard Hamilton still has a year on his contract, and they're going to let him coach that out. And I don't know, man. That roster is what it is.
I was in a perfect world, they would rename the court after him, and they might still do it. I hope they do it. He deserves it, I think, personally. But are you going to do it the last home game of this upcoming season when they're 6-26? I mean, or maybe Chandler Jackson averages 29 a game, and this is going to be a magical run. It could happen.
One of the great surprise runs in history.
Like Portier.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he and Kentron Portier be co-athletes of the year.
He's the ACC Conference Player of the Year over here. Portier's, borderline first-round draft pick. Doug writes, gentlemen, do you think our defense can be as good or better this year than last? If we do end up being better, what are the top 3 things that were in doubt but ended up going very well for this team? Well, you start with the fact that Marvin Jones Jr. would be some facsimile of Jared Verse, right? You'd start with that because we know Peyton on the other side is going to be really good.
Yeah, if Darrell Jackson played to what you think
Correct.
he could be,
Correct.
that would be a huge deal.
Yeah, that'd be huge. If Darrell Jackson is out to get paid and plays like it, they've got a dominant figure in the middle of their line.
And if 2 of these linebackers turn into quality linebackers.
Yeah, listen, I already think they're going to be really, really good. They have a chance to be as good or better, believe it or not, at corner. One of the guys is back in Fintrell Cypress, and we all think AZ's great.
Zarier's got a potential to be a higher draft pick than Renardo Green if he plays well. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy that you'd lose Renardo.
We're solid at corner.
Yeah,
Shaheem should have a good year, and then you just need somebody else to step up back there. I mean,
I like our little.
I love him.
Think about it. Safety last year. A lot of times you were playing when Akeem was out.
Well, Noles had to play.
Noles, and he wasn't even healthy.
That was rocky. Yeah. No, I actually, I guess to answer your question, Doug, they could be better. They really could. I'm not saying they will, but he said, could they be? Yes, they could be.
Life Spectator points out in the chat that Gates and CY are the guys who brought in all of the NBA caliber talent. That is true.
Yeah.
That is, it's just but that's not anybody's fault. Like Gates got a head coaching job.
Right.
And then he gave CY a great opportunity to be his number 2 guy, which he didn't have the opportunity to be here. So,
Infernal Show writes, given DJU's strengths and our current deficiencies at wide receiver, what former Nole would you most want to add to this roster? Answer without saying Randy Moss.
He counts. Why do we have to say? Peter Warwick.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Bolindikoff.
Don't we always default to Peter Warwick?
That's a pretty good default.
Yeah, it's a pretty good fallback.
Any great receiver, probably.
That's
Lavernius Coles.
You going to give Joel Davis a shout out?
I'm reading questions, Ira. I'm not in the chat.
Joel Davis.
Old JD in the house.
Good Lord, Joel Davis.
I don't have a computer.
Just
tell me what it is. Just tell me afterwards what I.
Joel Davis just wrote, "I've pre-ordered my college football national championship shirt, and he did so while dropping 200 bones our way."
JD.
Joel,
nice, buddy.
My man, that's nicely done. Appreciate you. Wow, thanks. Appreciate you, Joel. I don't know what else
he
to
didn't
say
have a
about
question.
No,
he just wants us to know how confident he is in the Noles
in the 2024 national championships.
It is going to be weird in the playoff era to start guiding your way through that hectic postseason compared to just being,
Man, it would be really cool. It's got to happen at some point in our lives, hopefully in the next year, maybe this year, to host a playoff.
Oh, man, Tom's been talking about that for years. It will be really neat. Imagine how cold it'll be walking into that stadium for a big matchup of the 5-12.
It'll be at night. It's obviously going to be at night, but it's going to be chilly, but it will still be better than most of the places in the country.
It would be incredible. Yeah. It would be incredible. And even if you have to go on the road, How much fun would it be to travel to?
Yeah.
And I love college campuses in general. I love atmospheres and other traditions, man.
Yeah, but you don't want to be playing some freezing ass stadium in late December.
No, I don't want to be in Columbus. That's a tough matchup to begin with. But yeah, I mean,
What
like,
about Columbia?
Wisconsin?
how great would it be if they're like, hey, listen, you're on your way to Austin, Texas. Okay. All right. Off we go to Austin, Texas. Let's do this thing. Or Los Angeles against USC or Oregon even. Yeah, man, let's go. I can't wait for this. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
I'm Caleb. I'm the lawn supervisor at Paul's Termite and Pest Control, and I really do love my job. Paul's has created an incredible work environment that always puts our customers' needs first. Their needs are our concerns, and my particular job of improving the health of North Florida lawns is something I truly enjoy. I'm an outdoor person, and I get to be outside all day, watching the lawns run through the stages full of weeds to weedless to lush, grass-filled landscapes is very rewarding. I'm proud to represent Paul's.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Caleb and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We are North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Hey, I'm Chris Young, and here's what's happening on the next Bud and Broadway show.
Hey, are you ready to see Christopher Reeve as Superman and Adam West as Batman all in the same movie?
That would be cool. We're going to have another round of questionable opinions from Twitter for you.
And we'll get you all caught up and up to date on the drama surrounding my son Grayson's prom day.
Hey, Greg, did you know that some cars are more prone to auto glass damage than others?
I did not know that.
Yeah, a Jeep windshield is flat, making it very prone to damage. Nissan Rogues are popular. Toyotas, Subarus are always in my shop because they get damaged frequently and they require recalibration.
So you guys see a lot of SUVs.
Yeah, I guess the angle of the glass has a lot to do with it.
But it's not like you can avoid a rock no matter what you're driving.
Exactly. So just go to SeminoleAutoglass.com and let us take care of everything for you.
So how often do you see a DeLorean?
From time to time. Better call Seminole.
I'm Greg Tisch, here to share one of my favorite TCC stories. In the summer of 1966, Eugene Lamb wanted to stay in shape before leaving to play college basketball in Louisiana. So he jogged to Tallahassee from his home in Midway and helped lay the bricks for the first building on what's now the TCC campus on Appleyard Drive. Today, he is a longtime member of the TCC District Board of Trustees. It's no exaggeration when we say Trustee Lamb helped build TCC into what it is today.
TCC thanks our community for 58 years of support. We look forward to moving into the future together.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on Big River. Let's keep it going here with the headliner questions. Next up, Gentlemen in Sweet Pea. This is from Tyler. Which team is more enjoyable to watch? 2024 FSU baseball 2022 FSU basketball, or 2020 FSU basketball, sorry, or 2013 FSU football?
I would go with the one that won the national championship.
I'm gonna go with the football.
I really like the 2020 basketball team, and the baseball team this year is fun to watch. Offensively,
yeah.
There's always sometimes there's a struggle on the mound, but it's mostly really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's mostly fun to watch. They pick up the baseball, they run the bases well. Other than that weird Friday game, which that game was crazy, but other than that, they've been really, really good. Sunday they really played good defense. That was a big part of why they won. But 2013 was just so much fun because they were so much better than the vast majority of the teams they played. You'd literally see teams. Remember that NC State team just cowering and
35-0 in the first quarter.
It's just hard to fathom ever seeing a team that dominant.
It's funny when Link talks about their baseball team when they have a big night, like they'll have a night where they have their team record 9th grand slam, or they'll have back-to-back home runs or something crazy. Link will make the comment that it's just fun to come to the park because you don't know what you're going to see. Like every day,
that's got to be
they
cool.
come out, there's doing something different offensively that you wouldn't expect. And that's how that football team was for sure. I mean, like they did things because remember, like before Jameis, if the football team, Florida State football was in, I don't know, 3rd and 11, you
call conservative play.
He's running a draw, and you're going to be
with
punted.
Jameis. It was
there was no
3rd
situation.
26.
Let her rip.
In
let
Florida.
her rip. Yeah,
that was fun, man. And like that was such a fun team. It was so different from 2014. I was just talking to my daughter Alexa about this because we were talking about like when you have a team that's really good. We were talking about the Orioles, Corey.
Oh, okay, good.
When you have a team that's really good and they're fun to watch, like that's a sweet spot you don't get very often.
You better appreciate it
because like the 14 team was awesome, not all that fun to watch. Like
no, the only thing fun about that was how pissed off everybody was when they kept finding ways
trolling
to win.
the other fan bases and the national media, but they weren't a fun team to watch. Their team was. I mean, you had some likable players. Jameis had a big personality. And then obviously the 2020 team was similar as well. And this team's got some of that.
Yeah, the 2013 team just dismantled people, kind of just did whatever they wanted. You could see the frustration on people's faces. They recognized they were helpless to do anything.
Yeah.
It
was like the 90s.
That was, a lot of moments that were very similar to the 90s. You are correct. Nate writes, and that's Ghost Pepper Nate, by the way. Hey, fellas, Ira gets to ask Phillips one question at the ACC media tapings, and he wrote tapings. And he gets an unscripted, non-rehearsed answer. What are you going to ask? Oh, I like this. Ira, what are you going to ask?
Man, that's a tough one.
Now, he has to give you...
He has to give me
a real
answer.
A real answer, yeah.
Bona fide answer.
I would say...
would you have taken this job if you knew?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Did anybody warn you that this might be coming when the job came open?
Do you regret... do you regret the fact that the conference, you have not been able to convince the other schools in the conference to change the revenue sharing to save the conference? Like, do you regret that you guys didn't even really consider that? Because I do think that's the one thing that maybe could have saved the conference. If Florida State and Clemson, if they could have divided the TV revenue based on who brings in the revenue, based on, as opposed to we're splitting it all evenly, and the fact they never considered that, like, is that now knowing that may have been the only thing that could have saved it, do you regret that?
What's so crazy about that point is that back then, obviously, they would be like, well, that's not fair. Let's split it all equally. We'll do it on who wins the most or whatever. But it was always like, that's not fair. That's not it's not fair to give two teams more money than the rest.
What they would always point to is that, Wake Forest has been better at football than Florida State. But that's not what brings in the revenue.
But also, like, then think about the pact they just signed with the college football playoff, where there's 4 teams that are supposed to be equal, but 4 conferences. Yeah. But 2 conferences are getting 80% of the money. It's like, okay, well, that's what Florida State and Clemson wanted in your conference, and you'd still have them. That's that kind of split. You agreed to that split for much more money, but when it came to like trying to keep the 2 main programs in your conference happy and on par with the SEC and the Big Ten, you said, no, I want Duke and Syracuse to get as much money. So now
I also wonder, I think that's accurate. I mean, I also wonder if he really regrets the naivete of believing that the alliance or that anybody else that his cohorts in the other Power 5 conferences would do the right thing.
We shook hands
in honor of college football and what's right by the student athlete. He couldn't recognize the forest for the trees. We're like, dude, look around you. The guy that's right down the road from you has declared war. He's just taking all the best teams from the other conferences. Why do you think he's going to play nice? He just took Texas and Oklahoma. Right. He just chopped the legs out of the Big 12. What are you doing thinking he's going to do right by college football?
Yeah. What did you think was going to come out of your speech about the gated communities and asking everybody?
Sounds like you got a lot of questions to ask him.
Sky Ninja in the chat made a little contribution and asked, please tell me something good about the basketball team. Corey, got anything good? I would say this. There's a couple of those transfers.
Here we go.
There's a couple of those transfers that I think could be better than we think. Like one of them,
the kid that averaged 10 at Hampton, or the kid that was the third leading scorer at South Dakota.
Not even either one. Oh,
okay. Well,
the guy that really didn't do much last year. Well, the guy that
did not play.
There's a guy that had an ACL 2 years ago.
Texas
and I'm
San
banking
Antonio
on
guy?
maybe. So maybe we'll go with that.
I think Taylor Bowen could be something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's bouncy and athletic and plays hard.
I like that you played the game, guys. Good job. Jay writes, gentlemen, yay sausage, and thanks, Dr. Birch. Since it's a long off season, can we talk about Memphis? They have me more concerned than any other team in the front of our schedule. Yes, it's at Doak, but their quarterback and offense seem to be a true handful for everybody. I believe they'll score some points, and if our offense hasn't hit its stride yet, we may have a real game on our hands. What say you? Am I just being an alarmist?
No, I think that's all accurate. What would you put the spread at that? That spread's not going to be more than 10 or 12.
I was going to say 10.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're only favored by 10.5 points at home, nobody's thinking it's going to be a cakewalk.
And there's no real home field advantage this year for Florida State. It's going to be a weird year.
It's still going to be a home field advantage. 50,000 people. People act like 50,000 people is nobody.
When we haven't figured, it's more than SMU, right?
Right.
We got to figure out what they're going to do
the
behind
problem
that
is
sideline.
if it's not enclosed, there's no. It's just
they're going to put some stuff up to trap in the noise.
I think it's going to be okay. But no, man, I think that's the thing about this schedule, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you can feel like this team may have a really high ceiling, but there's some losable games. This schedule is much more.
You could lose at SMU.
You could lose at SMU.
You could lose to Georgia Tech and Ireland.
You could lose at Notre Dame.
Well, I think right about now it'd almost be a pick 'em against Miami.
Notre Dame on the road is going to be a challenge. That Memphis game is going to be a challenge. Georgia Tech is going to be a challenge. I mean, it's
Clemson here is going to be a challenge.
You'll be favored in most of them, but man, you're not going to just cruise to a easy.
Hey, I'm kind of curious as we stand here today when we get into August. Let's like at the end of camp and we know the season's about to start. Will Florida State be favored on the road against Miami?
Well, do they do spreads that
far
out?
Yeah, yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not, right? It's kind of interesting. It's just interesting to think about. That game is going to be a bit of a war. That's going to
some of that also is like they've done so much more in the portal this spring.
But here's a hot take.
Florida State did so much more in December that I think the portal entries are probably equal. It's just Miami's more of the recency bias.
And I've been hearing a lot of talk on national shows and also just regional shows about their quarterback situation in Florida getting DJ and them getting Cam. And it's like, yeah, man, Cam Ward was great, but he's going to a coach that has been a quarterback killer. Mike Norvell is a coach that takes quarterbacks and takes them to another level. So to me, I'm not going to concede that they've got the better quarterback. I think DJ may have as good a year or better than,
you tell him, Ira.
Mario's quarterbacks have not done well.
No. Mario's a terrible in-game coach. He's embarrassingly bad. Michael writes, gentlemen, I love what Link is doing with this team, and I think with a little bit of help, they can make it to Omaha. Unrelated, are any of you available for midweek starts or relief pitching? Yeah.
For real.
Luckily, those are about done. Butch writes, hello, boys. I know nothing about construction, but looking at the most recent photos of the stadium reconstruction, sure as hell looks like the alumni side is not going to be able to hold 55,000 fans.
No, it's not. There's going to be, I think 7,000 is the last number I heard, temporary seats on the that side. And then so basically half the stadium is pretty much intact. Then you'll have 7,000 on the other side. So I think they're,
plus, you got
I
tell you what, I noticed in the spring game, they've got to put blinds up in the Champions Club, and you have to go outside.
Make them come outside.
You have to come outside, or you can't watch the game. Oh, and the TVs don't work. The TVs don't work. You can't watch it from inside either.
I have a question.
You have to do it for this year only because
the TVs don't work.
The TVs, sorry,
so
guys.
I'm paying into this. Why?
Yeah. Well, that's fine. You've already got your money
on the fritz.
Yeah.
I have a question before we go to break. And it's for either one of you, but I actually I'm going to address.
What are you looking at?
the things I need to know about timing for
Oh,
commercials.
okay. I thought you were reading a question. I thought you were reading a question
No,
from that big
no,
TV.
No. I have a question.
Okay.
So, I'm not as, I know what they are and how good they've been and I that kind of stuff, but I don't pay attention game to game. So I got to know, why does the softball team suck? Why every time I look up, they're giving up 15 runs?
There was a run there where they won like 18 straight games.
Yeah, they were 22-1.
But now every time I look, I'm like, good Lord, they scored Syracuse.
They scored 13 against Florida and lost.
Yes.
And then they had never lost to Syracuse. They were 20-0.
I just saw that and I went, what is going on here?
And they go up there and lose 2 out of 3, including getting run ruled. McKenna Reed's not pitching. Don't know what's going on with it, but she is not pitching right now. She's their best pitcher. And then, the rest of their pitchers
suck.
Aren't great.
Okay.
You just tuned in over the last week when they went back in the tank.
No. I saw some of the runs, but even then there were games where I was like, man, this is not like
it's not a normal Florida State. It's not a normal. They have a very good offense. The pitching is not close to what it's been, but the portal's open next year, gang.
Can't be out here losing to Syracuse.
With Corey's theory about the TVs being broken, I just had a theory. Like, what if they had skyboxes back in football stadiums back in like the 70s?
Yeah.
We had like rabbit ears on the TV.
Yeah, and you're watching Heidi. You're watching the evening news because you can't get another football game.
Get up there and push that forward. What are we doing?
Even then, what are you watching? There's no other football.
You've been watching Notre Dame, is what you've been watching.
Where's that tin foil? We had the tin foil.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
The Thomas County Sheriff's Office is searching for a man accused of shooting his girlfriend. LaRon Jones should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. The incident unfolded just before 7 p.m. Friday when deputies responded to the 2000 block of Main Street in Barwick, Georgia, in reference to a shooting. TCSO found a woman who had been shot once in her upper extremities and torso. During an interview with the victim, she revealed her boyfriend Jones was the one who shot her. Jones is wanted on charges of aggravated battery, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. A teen was injured in a shooting during the overnight hours Sunday. A little after 12:30 a.m. Sunday, police and officers responded to the area of Bloxham and Calhoun Streets due to shots being fired. Officers arrived and found a 17-year-old boy with a gunshot wound to his foot. He was taken to a local hospital. Officers collected shell casings and witness statements. No arrests have been made. The investigation is currently ongoing. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 91 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 71 with fog and spots tonight, partly cloudy skies. Mainly sunny skies develop with fog and spots early tomorrow. Highs level off around 90. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 88.
Ready for a breath of fresh air this tax season? Well, breathe easy with E&B Heating and Air. Don't miss out on federal tax incentives for new AC systems and heat pumps. Take advantage of up to $2,000 in tax credits, plus additional savings from city and manufacturer rebates. E&B Heating and Air Conditioning has been serving Tallahassee and surrounding areas since 1974. Call us today for your free estimate at 850-575-9119 or visit us online at enbheatandair.com. That's enbheatandair.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Kyle writes, headliners, taking one from Ira's playbook, two-part question. First, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Basketball program. Is the new Taylor Swift album good?
That is a great question.
So I'm hearing that we're a little divided in the Schofel household.
Okay. Stephanie seems to be a fan, but I don't.
She is no matter what.
Yes, you're right.
Kim likes it also, but
she could fart in the bathtub and Stephanie would be like, oh, this is incredible.
This is outstanding.
Yeah. Taylor Swift farting.
Seems like they're not seeing any obvious bangers. Like it's just.
I was wondering if she had like some huge hits, like "Shake It Off" or whatever other ones are.
Nobody's sensing that.
I read in passing that it's because it was a collection of songs that had already been done before by her that she never released, and they wanted to cash in on the raging success of the last 2 years, so they put together this package of songs and went, here you go.
But she did write a new song because it's apparently about Kim Kardashian. I do know that. I got the down low on that.
Well, I can't wait.
There's all that controversy. There was controversy that Kim Kardashian made fun of her 4 or 5 years ago on Twitter.
Maybe that's when it was written.
Blah, blah, blah. But she calls her Amy it's funny, actually. She calls her Amy in the song. She doesn't call her Kim.
Okay, we're not doing this.
No, but I want to tell you, I looked it up because I wanted to see, because I think it relates to Herb Street. Every time Kim Kardashian now tweets or posts anything on social media,
she gets attacked by
all the Taylor Swift fans come out and just call her Amy. Good. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Amy. So just like anytime Herb Street tweets anything, Florida State fans are going to talk to him about something. Kim Kardashian now has to deal with Swifties.
The second part of the question was,
we don't care. Let's keep talking about Taylor Swift.
Ira, how did you let Jalen Worley join the dark side?
Yeah, oh my gosh,
and go to Virginia?
Can you believe that?
It's sad because I like Jalen Worley.
Yeah, well, not anymore. You don't.
But I've sworn him off.
Yeah,
it is fun. He is, I like Jalen Worley, but it seems like a pretty good fit. Like long and athletic, can defend.
What's his what will be his season high in points this year?
I mean 6.2.
No, it's not his average. What will be his season high? I think he'll score 13,
8 or 9.
I think he might get to 13. He'll get some deflections and get some easy buckets, but he can't. It's odd. He can't shoot at all. Usually their guards at Virginia, they defend long and can shoot. He can't do that.
John writes, off-season question.
Can't blame him, can we?
Considering the incomparable sporting knowledge represented by the three of you, I have a question. Having watched a lot more softball over the past several years, it got me to thinking, since it appears to be a lot less stressful on the arm. It is less stressful on the arm. Has a baseball pitcher, ever attempted to pitch underhanded? By the way, to answer your question, John, it is legal. There's been plenty of submariners. It's not the same thing.
Your boy Kenta Colby back in the day.
Yeah, man, all the way down, knuckles scraping the ground. But it is no, in the sense of, not that I'm aware of anybody trying to pitch the way that women do a softball. No.
I know Tom House. Do you remember that name? Not the great Tom House that played basketball.
He also just left the program,
he did leave.
I believe.
I'm not sure where he landed.
Devastating.
He's actually the guy that caught Hank Aaron's 750th home run. He was a pitcher for the Braves.
He was also really good.
He was
for 2 years. He was really good.
He became a arm doctor, like a pitching coach, a throwing coach, and they did a Real Sports story on him where he was trying to teach people to throw like that.
Really?
Yeah, baseball pitchers. And obviously the baseball institution did not look.
What velocity could you get?
I wouldn't think high enough.
Not much.
It's he's like it's the plane of it, and the trajectory of it. So like Brady, the highest he'll ever throw is probably 81 or 82. Why don't I should now start getting him to do the Tekulve, but also with a knuckleball, like a sidearm, underarm, submariner knuckleball.
I like it.
Nobody hits knuckleballs anymore. Knuckleballers used to be a thing when we were growing up.
Yeah.
There'd be like 1 or 2 on a team.
Nobody
does it.
Zach writes, with the success of Carson Dorsey, or the success Carson Dorsey has had in a starter's role, would you move Leiter or Whitaker to the pen when they return? Well, yeah. We said we wouldn't move Dorsey out of the 2 spot in the rotation. So then on Sunday it's kind of a hodgepodge, and so some of them are going to have to be in the pen.
But But
also you need to meet them on a Friday. One of them on a Friday for extended.
Also, at this point, we'll talk. I'm sure Link will talk tonight.
No. I just interviewed last week Mike Capozzi.
Yeah,
lengthy interview. He told me that they were with one of the guys with Whitaker. They were in stage 3, moving to stage 4. Did he say 5 or 6 stages? I don't remember the quote of ramping them back up.
It's denial, anger, grief,
anger.
Acceptance is the last one, I think.
Yeah. No, but there is a sense that they are very close.
All right.
How many more games they got?
Not many. They've got.
You got Jacksonville tonight.
They've got 2 weekend series left.
But wouldn't you work them back in a little bit here? Like maybe, hey, listen, Ben Barrett went from 2 to 4.
That's right. That's right.
2 to 4 pitching.
Yes,
it's fine. Hey, you keep doubling that by the time June rolls
can we get
around.
up to 8 tonight against JU? 16 on Sunday?
I would say, I would think Whitaker, you'd probably, I don't know. I guess he'd be your third starter if he came back, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. My guess is
I was trying to intimate here that he didn't think they're coming back.
I think at this point, your hope is you get one of them in the pen, maybe. I don't know that you're going to get a start. I don't know how much time is left that you're going to get one of them in a starting role. I mean,
I don't know. But you could give somebody extended innings, 2 to 3 innings. Listen, again, you're putting yourself in a great position if you get 2-3 innings out of these guys.
Yeah, but he could start either way. I mean, who else would you start? I mean, you're going to start Whitaker and say you're giving me 3 innings, 1 through 3, or 3 innings 6 through 8, whatever it is. I just get 9 outs out of the guy.
Justin writes, gentlemen, if you had to be chauffeured across country for an epic Big Ten matchup between FSU and Oregon, and you could have any past FSU player in any sport be your driver, who would you pick? Your driver.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Reese.
I thought of her too because of the stupid thing on the boards on the scoreboard where they're always racing.
Oh yeah, she wins some of those.
She wins some of those.
She races the Bandit and And, well, that's
and
the
Bobby.
Answer, right?
Yeah.
Did he say it had to be alive?
Well,
because Burt Reynolds is the answer.
Bert's
That
the
would
answer.
be the answer.
Yeah, that would be the answer because you're going to stop and party somewhere.
Well, yeah, and you're going to get there quick.
You're going to have a damn good time, is what you're going to do.
I just saw a picture on Twitter a couple days ago of like the Allman Brothers, like when they recorded one of their albums, like
and he's just chilling in the corner.
He's just hanging out with them.
Of course he is.
Have you ever seen those like old with him and Dom DeLuise on the Johnny Carson show?
Oh,
it is just
buckled over
outlandish.
laughing. Yeah.
It is like what this aired. This was on TV.
Jason wants to know: can we give basketball scholarships to our football players? Seriously, I mean that's an option, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, you get them off the football books and they become basketball.
Well,
guys.
he just goes on to say, was Charlie Ward on a football scholarship or a basketball scholarship?
He was on a football one, but
they have to go. It has to be whatever the bigger sport is. It has to be whatever sport you're playing that's got the most scholarships. That's
the one you have to be.
Yeah. Imagine Chandler Jackson throwing an oop to Kentron Portier, because Portier will be a two-sport star. He's going to have a documentary on him about this upcoming season.
John wants to know if FSU baseball decides to build a new stadium. Do you think they'll retain some of the classic Hauser elements like the screen monster, the roof, and those giant fans?
The big-ass fans.
Giant fans, yeah.
Filled with 6 inches of dust on top of those fans, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I know this. When they build the new stadium, they need to make sure that they spray it down so we can have some standing water to get past, no matter the time of year,
just
buddy.
as a tribute?
Just as a tribute. Oh, we'll puddle just like the old place. Oh, how great is this?
Not to bring up a sore subject again, but how do lightning rods work? Do they attract the lightning?
I would assume so.
Are they foolproof, or I guess they miss sometimes, right? Like the lightning misses it. Like I don't know the machinations of it.
Why, you want to put some of those up there too?
Yes.
And the new stadium is going to have lightning rods.
It's going to be lightning rods up top.
Like put them further away.
Well,
so
that's
you
a
can
good point.
continue to
Yeah,
play.
in the parking lot.
Yeah,
You're right.
so,
That's so smart. Yeah.
Come on,
put them at
guys.
the old. Keep
We
them at
don't
the
want
old
to draw
house.
them towards the stadium. We got no shot
That
here.
was
What are
dumb.
we doing?
Sorry.
Lee writes, great show, fellas. Is 2025 the year FSU finally closes the deal with some of these elite trench players out of high school? Well, they're in on a 5-star right now, that Petty kid, and they seem to have a lot of momentum in that kid because his sister's going to come to Florida State.
And he would be their second 5-star offensive lineman.
Don't they have one
Solomon
already
Thomas,
locked and loaded? Well,
so let's go. Let's go. I mean, that would be a huge plus. It's the next big step is to be able to win some of the 5-star talent in the trenches on the defensive side and offensive side. If they're able to do it, that's huge.
And look, Armella and Lucas Simmons were both really highly rated offensive linemen.
And Lucas Simmons may end up being a great player. I mean, he had to miss basically a year for medical reasons, and so we'll see.
But the point being, the last couple of years, they've signed some high 4-star type linemen anyway. Just be nice to have that come to fruition and then play like it once they get here. And they might. They're both young.
Gentlemen, what will Warchant do to punish this newfound lawbreaker, Corey Clark?
Yeah.
He is suspended until hour number 2. Do you think FSU and NC State really wanted to hit up all the graduation parties Saturday night? By the way, that's funny. Just 2 things in there. Yeah, I don't know what your penalty is within Warchant.
Probably not much, but I'm genuinely concerned about my points. Like, what are the
you
points?
didn't get a ticket, did you?
I got 2 tickets.
For this?
One for driving with a suspended
Aaron.
license.
I thought he just like.
No, well, yeah, the guy that took my plate and made me tow it to my house that was 5 miles
Tell
away.
me you got 2 tickets.
Yeah, he's like, but other than that, you're gonna have a good day, sir. Just don't let this happen again.
Yeah.
No, so I got a ticket for driving without proper insurance, which was not true because the
not
car
true.
was insured.
Yeah.
Can you challenge it?
I'm going to. If I can or not, I'm going to.
Yeah,
'cause
you
I don't,
can. You can.
I think of points for driving with a suspended license. The points on that might be
Why
enough
are you
to
so
actually
worried about all
suspend
these
my
points?
license.
So you have a
Well,
bevy of
so-
tickets in the last 2
so
years
3
with all the
years-
driving you do?
3 years ago, I did get my license suspended for points for speeding tickets.
Here's the thing. You got to.
So now I've got it. I've had it happen twice. This one was BS, but I don't get the benefit of the doubt because
How
I legitimately
long was it
earned
suspended?
30 days. I got a hardship though because Brady was up, so they let me drive to
Yeah.
back up to Atlanta and back. But that was strictly because I had
a bunch of speeding tickets.
Probably 6 tickets within 4 years.
Were they all in those little podunk
Yes,
counties
of
in the middle of
course.
nowhere?
And if you
That's
do the
nonsense.
math, the miles I drive, I'm a pretty good driver. I don't
If you do
speed
the
that
math,
much.
if you do the math.
If you put it all together, but I haven't had a speeding ticket in like
Hey,
6
Ira
years.
knows how fast I drive. You got to be in shock that I don't get
gosh.
tickets.
Oh my god.
We don't drive to and fro like
I
do,
ride
yeah.
the hell out.
I will say that, yeah. By that reasoning, though, truckers probably get their licenses suspended like once every few months.
I
they're on
don't
the
think.
road
I bet
all
they
day.
have
they're
governors
probably,
on
but they
there.
don't. They're
Don't
not
they?
driving very fast. I'm honking at them to get over. So yeah, I'm worried that I'm going to actually get a legitimately license suspended because of the points for this one.
Well, you're going to appeal the insurance thing.
I'm going to appeal both of them.
Yeah.
I hopefully I get if it goes to court, hopefully I get a nice judge.
Very quickly, I want to get these questions in,
All right,
guys.
let's
I
go.
love you
Sorry,
to death,
sorry.
but screw
Let's go.
Corey's
Oh, yeah,
license.
sorry.
Ara Wilmer is concerned about the receiver room. Do we think they'll be much better by the time we face Georgia Tech? Either one of you, go.
I think they'll be decent.
Okay. Jerry writes, good afternoon, gentlemen. When is FSU amended?
Black Jerry or white Jerry? Can you tell?
Jerry appears to be white,
Okay.
as most of them are. Good afternoon, gentlemen. When is FSU amended filing due in Leon County? Do you expect any new legal avenues of attack or strategies? Thanks in advance.
Should be any day. It may be by now. I'll check the court system when we get done here. But yeah, it was supposed to be within a week, basically. So it should be any day now.
Jerry, heads up on the Jeff Cameron Show tomorrow. Tom Kowitz joins us for a lengthy interview.
There you
So
go.
I'll
There
have
you go.
There we
I'll
go. There's
update
your answer,
everybody.
Jerry.
There you go. Justin writes, when FSU wins the College World Series, can we get an hour number 2 from Corey?
Yes,
That would
yes.
seem worthy.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Grady writes, how concerned should we be with recruiting along the defensive line right now? I don't ever really concern myself overly with recruiting right now, but I get it. We gotta cash in on some of these 5 stars that are out there. Tom writes, since we decided you all 3 couldn't rebuild Doak no matter how much time you had, what about if we let you also have Matt Millar? That's
Now,
Tom.
that could be a game
It
changer.
could actually happen. I gotta tell you,
Millar's got a brain for stuff like that.
Buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
buddy, but Tom is my handyman. I mean, Matt Millar is my handyman. I
Okay,
call
well then,
him.
yeah.
I call him all the time. I'm like, hey man, how do I do this? He's like, you just turn it on. I'm like, come over here. I need your help. I'm not buying it. He could build a deck from
he's-
scratch
yeah,
in no
he's
time.
Lawn maintenance guy.
Forget
He's
about it.
all
He's
that
got
stuff.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We could use him in the jungle.
Oh, we
Oh,
could.
man, we
yeah.
could use him anyway.
Resourceful that way. Yeah.
We need a deck. We're going to need a deck in the jungle to stay away from all those squirrels and sloths.
But this is very funny, JB. Thank you. Ira will not participate in the laughter, but I'm going to. He writes, gents, not sure if Tallahassee has a city motto, but might I suggest, attention, lightning has been detected in Key West.
Good stuff.
Given our scholarship numbers, Ira's not going to answer you, C. Ward. Tony writes, do you guys think we have more than 10 drafted in 2025?
I think yes. I'm going to say yes.
More than 10?
More than 10.
No. I think it's a good number.
Hold up. To Tony's point, he has Farmer, Jackson, AZ, Peyton, Cypress, Lola Hea, Brown, Benson, DJU, 3 offensive linemen, Washington, Leonard, TJ, Lundy, and maybe MJJ. So
that sounded like 13 or 14.
Yeah, there was like 15 or something.
it's
but yeah.
actually a distinct possibility. I think Ira may be right on this.
Then they're going to be awesome this year.
Well, they're going to be good.
Yeah, man. I think they're going to be good. I
We
think
don't think they suck.
No, I don't think they suck. That seems like a lot, though.
Yeah, man, they could. I
That's
mean,
more than that's what Michigan had.
Yeah, but what if? I mean, look.
They might all be from like the second round or the 6th
what
round.
If 8 of the 13 or 12 are from the 5th round on?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're all
you know,
day 3
it's a little
picks,
bit
but
different.
still. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun if they had another dozen or so drafted.
But I think the point would be that on the heels of this great draft, they're going to have another pretty robust draft.
Yep.
And we think about what that means for Florida State moving forward in recruiting and all these questions that we get about this. I would think it has to be huge. Good work out of you, Corey. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Free Corey Clark.
All right. Say goodbye, Ira. Great
Free
work
Corey
out of you.
Clark.
There he is. He's done. Thanks to all you who called and or listened. Old school. Peace, everybody. Be good.